Hello good people! This is Fisher12 back with another exciting video for you guys today as always, and this episode of Raw was the go home after? The after home? The after coming show? The Raw after SummerSlam. So, you guys know what time it is. Let's talk Raw. This episode of Raw started off with a Brock Lesnar segment, and the crowd was absolutely hyped for this one. The entire crowd was on their feet for Paul Heyman's promo, which usually doesn't happen when people are cutting promos. You could just see the look of excitement on Brock Lesnar's face, too. He was just enjoying being out there, being champion, listening to Paul. It's always, you can always tell when a wrestler is enjoying themselves, and without a doubt, that is when wrestlers are at their best, is when they look like they're enjoying themselves. Now, ultimately, Braun Strowman came out and interrupted Brock Lesnar, put him on his ass, and we ended up with Brock versus Braun Strowman happening at No Mercy. Now, I wish they had waited till WrestleMania for this type of big matchup, or had maybe waited till one of the big four pay-per-views. I don't think they should have had it at No Mercy, so I'm actually kind of hoping that this match ends up in a no contest or double countout or something, or some sort of fluky thing that gives it reason to carry this feud further. But after that, we had Big Cass versus Enzo Amore in a Brooklyn street fight, and they announced that Big Cass's injury was not a work. He actually did get hurt, and you never want someone to get hurt. That's never a good thing, but Cass getting hurt is probably the best thing for this feud, because it gives them a chance to do something else, provided he's, actually out for a little bit, because this feud is boring, it's stale. It's like the only reason why they keep doing this feud is to bury Enzo. It's not for our enjoyment or to make Cass look like a big heel. It's not for any reason other than just to bury Enzo for his backstage heat. And I'm just getting tired of seeing it on his TV. Send him to 205 Live, send him to NXT, fire him, do something else to punish him other than putting him on my TV. Next up, we had Emma versus Nia Jax, and I really don't have anything to say about this match other than what I've been saying for the past couple weeks and what I've been saying about Baron Corbin. Don't talk out on social media. Next up, we had Elias versus R-Truth, and one thing that I noticed is that Elias is really coming into his role, his whole singing gimmick thing, because now he's not just going out there singing a bad song, the crowd's booing him, and then he gets interrupted by someone. He's like going out there and more or less there's some antics to his mini concerts. He'll stop his song because people are clapping. He'll comment on what they're doing. He makes it more or less interactive than him just going out there and being almost a nuisance. But the match itself was a nothing match, probably just to build further heat for Elias. I think his concert was actually longer than this entire match. Next up, we had a John Cena promo, or what I am calling the segment of the year. This is, in my opinion, this is probably the best segment WWE has done in a while, all promo talking wise, simply because it was so truthful. And the spotlight should 100% just be on The Miz for this. I left this segment thinking, you know what? The Miz is awesome, because he's taking shots at everyone, at everything, and they're not like underhanded shots. They're real, actual things to be mad about. Being on a pay-per-view kickoff match when there's 10 people in the building, not getting to defend your title at a pay-per-view, not being in the main event, not being in the spotlight, other people getting chances. And he has a great point too. They're like, oh yeah, let's bring in kayfabe, let's bring in John Cena because that's what Raw needs. Meanwhile, we have a champion who's not even defending his title. It really was just awesome. And the kicker for me was when he started to talk to the crowd about their dual chants. He's like, you guys chant for Roman Reigns, you boo Roman Reigns. You chant for John Cena, you boo John Cena. And do you know who that hurts? Me. It hurts the performer, because that just shows the guys he didn't say this part, but basically what he's saying is it's showing the people in the back that you care enough about these people to boo them, to cheer them, whatever it is, you care enough about them. Whereas the only people that hurts is the people you're not chanting for, the people that aren't on the TV. Like when you chant for CM Punk, that doesn't show them that you don't care about what's going on. That shows them that you just care about CM Punk. And I might even go so far as to say that this is the new pipe bomb. It wasn't as underhanded and really backstage and really as real as the CM Punk pipe bomb, because he was using first names, talking about Vince McMahon. But this was as close to a a shoot promo as you could come. You know, this was as real gets without it actually going backstage. And then for whatever reason, WWE thought it was a good idea to follow up that awesome segment with our weekly 205 Live match, tag team again, which is good. Swan, Alexander, Mustafa Ali, and Grand Metalik versus Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, and Noam Dar. And the match itself was just okay, a couple high-flying spots. The crowd wasn't really into it. They started doing the wave during this. The only real redeeming thing about this match, for me personally, is Grand Metalik. I absolutely love him. I love his moveset. I love the little spins that he puts on moves. So like his moonsault, for example, as opposed to just taking it from the top rope, he'll do a little tightrope action and step out onto the rope and then do it. I just think like when he does little nice touches like that and little spins, it really elevates his moveset. Next, we had 2/3 of the Shield versus the Hardys, and I thought this was a solid match. It was just great that they were giving this match a lot of time. Actually, it started off with a somewhat of a broken promo from Matt, and the crowd was loving it, and that was awesome because I think the last time he tried to do some broken stuff, the crowd wasn't really truly getting behind it as much as you probably were watching from your TV, or as much as I was watching from my TV. I did think it was interesting that they did a face versus face match here, and I wonder if we see anything come from it, or if this was just a one-off to fill time on the show and give people a match that they really wanted to see. Then we had Jason Jordan versus Finn Balor, and this was interesting because the match itself was just okay, but the whole way that this match came to be was interesting because JJ had gone to Kurt Angle and said, hey, I know I don't want to get special treatment, but can I have a match tonight? And he got his special treatment, he got his match. So in my mind, this is leaning or the beginnings of a heel turn for Jason Jordan, because not only did he go in there and sort of ask for special treatment, he then got put up against a face like Finn Balor. But during the match, he didn't do anything heelish, and JJ got pinned clean by Finn Balor. So I'm not sure if we see this feud continuing or whatnot. If it continues, I'll be really disappointed because since Finn has been back, he has done literally nothing feuds, just random feuds with people for random reasons. He hasn't been in the title picture. He hasn't even in any title picture. The tag team, Intercontinental, Universal. I would want him to go to SmackDown and challenge for the WWE Championship, but with what they're doing with Jinder Mahal now, he'd probably lose, and I definitely don't want that to happen. So I want to see something come of Finn Balor, but I don't know what. And then lastly, we had our main event, John Cena and Roman Reigns versus The Miz and Samoa Joe. I didn't really think this was a good match. The crowd really wasn't into the match at the start. They were playing with beach balls, doing the wave. After the beach ball got taken away, they were doing "We Want Beach Ball" chants. And John Cena, too, was like playing into it, stopping the match, directing attention to it. And I didn't think that was the right move. Maybe you do that once, but don't stay on it, because what's ultimately going to happen is you're going to encourage people to bring beach balls and do the wave and do all this other stuff because you're showing that it'll get attention. And that's what fans want from shows. They want the attention. They want the show to be on them. They want to be the star. And ultimately, I wasn't happy with the finish, or rather the result. You know, you had Miz cut this awesome promo about how he's not getting his opportunity, he's not getting his chance. The crowd was going wild when he was talking about that stuff. And then Samoa Joe came out, and the crowd was hot for Samoa Joe. And then what happens? You have the two people that no one likes pin them. Who's supposed to be the heels here, and who is supposed to be the baby faces? So that was just my critique about this match. Overall, this episode was just kind of There was nothing exciting. There was no new call-ups. It seems like the Raw after every Big Four pay-per-view should have something special, and the John Cena coming to Raw wasn't it, and it certainly didn't get the reaction that I bet maybe the people in the back were expecting. So that, in my mind, added more to this episode just being and kind of lackluster. Now, hopefully we get something a little bit better out of this week's SmackDown. But one good thing did come out of this Raw episode. Next week we have Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. So it'll be interesting to see what direction they go in with that, because lately they've been reversing title changes after a week. So we'll see if they put it back on Alexa Bliss after just giving it to Sasha Banks for 2. But I'm curious to know what you guys thought of this week's episode of Raw. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know down below. And that will unfortunately bring us to the end of today's episode. So if you enjoyed it and want to see more videos like this, then go ahead and click on that subscribe button. But other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of your day and take care.